Hi again. Throughout the week, RT's been receiving testimonies from commercial pilots who allege they're being overworked and given dangerously insufficient time to catch up on sleep in between flights. We were first contacted by a former Fly Dubai airline pilot in the immediate wake of that passenger jet crash in southern Russia last weekend. He told us that a disaster he thought was waiting to happen.
The way that they build the schedules, they do not allow pilots to get the right amount of rest or the proper rest before a flight. And that is exactly what both of these pilots were, the situation that they were in, for sure. I wish it didn't happen, and I wish it wasn't true. I personally lost friends who were crew on that airplane, but I wasn't surprised. I've been able to get the first officer's roster, and he was working 11 days in a row with the exception of one day off, which was Tuesday, March 15th.
Fly Dubai Flight 981 took off from Dubai late March the 18th, bound for Russia's Rostov-on-Don. Bad weather conditions at Rostov Airport meant that airliner had to abort its first landing. In fact, it was put into a holding pattern for more than 2 hours, close to 2.5. That plane then crashed during its second landing attempt. All 55 passengers and 7 crew members on board were killed. Bad weather conditions, human error and technical failure are currently being considered as possible reasons for the accident. After we aired that first interview, then letters and phone calls started to come in from other pilots backing the original pilot's testimony.
I know for a fact things of a close friend of his wife. She said that Alejandro didn't want to go into work that night because he was so tired. But he said, I need to go into work because we're having twins, we're going to need the money. And because if you don't go into work, about a third of our pay is made up of flying pay. So if you don't fly, you don't get paid. So many pilots have fallen asleep at the controls, but for fear of reprisal, they don't necessarily file a safety report.
I also have some photos, but I don't think I had to show it to you. Photos of my colleagues sleeping on the flight, along the flight, because they said, I'm really tired, so I'm going to sleep all the flight. I said, please go ahead.
When we have rosters that are fatiguing, we must tell the company that there's a problem, and that's what we've been doing, and they haven't been listening.
The rosters, I think, don't respect any kind of rule. They make their own rules, okay? I have colleagues flying in Emirates, and they all complain about the same way people are treated. It's kind of a modern slavery, even for pilots.
We asked Fly Dubai to comment in the week on the claims of fatigue voiced by its former pilots. This is the response we got.
For Fly Dubai, the safety and welfare of our flight crew and cabin crew will always be our priority. You've got to understand that the whole aviation industry is heavily regulated, and we strictly follow authorised flying duty time regulations in putting together our duty rosters. If a member of a flight crew feels that, for whatever reason, they have not been able to get enough rest before starting a shift, our safety management systems allow pilots to declare themselves unfit to fly.
Then another strand to this story unveiled itself. RT then started getting contact from pilots from Emirates Airline. They say they've also been forced to work to the point of exhaustion.
From a pilot's perspective, you're concerned about fatigue because it makes you sick in the long run, but as a passenger, you should be concerned about fatigue. As you know from driving your own car, when you are very, very tired, I mean really tired, you will make more mistakes and your reaction time goes down.
There's following issues, is rostering. When I started 12 years ago, we were flying approximately 40 to 60 hours, which is international standard. And then they increased the productivity up to now it's more than 100 hours.
I have resigned with no job to go to because of the rosters and management style. We all knew it was only a matter of time before a fatigue-related accident happened. My upgrade was delayed because, according to management, I called in sick and sick fatigue too often. The truth is that our rosters are brutal. In my mind, being in this job is like being in an abusive relationship. Yes, I have status and money, but I know it's going to end badly if I stay, with either death or sickness. We're not allowed to talk to journalists, obviously, but I'm so angry that lives had to be lost, families torn apart, all for greed and profit, that I think it's my duty to speak out.
In response to those claims, Emirates pointed out that its safety record is one of the best in the world and that it's committed to ensuring its passengers and crew are not in danger. The airline went on to say it takes the issue of flight fatigue seriously and has a special system to manage it. Emirates added that its pilots can always also go to the regulator if they have further concerns. However, the company also asked staff not to share their rosters with the media, according to a letter from a senior manager given to us by an Emirates employee.
Can we please stop distributing the flight crew departure timeline form as part of the briefing package at the earliest?
Well, if you've got any information that you think might contribute to our ongoing investigation, we'd love to hear from you. The email address is on your screens now. We'll ensure, of course, if that's what you want, your identity is kept confidential, as we have done with all the pilots who've got in touch with us thus far. Let me just give you a footnote to the big story of the day. ISIS has been driven out from Palmyra in Syria. The update we're getting is that it seems that President Putin's talked to the Syrian leader very recently, Bashar al-Assad, on the phone. President Assad thanked Moscow, it appears, for its help in the liberation of Palmyra, while Vladimir Putin highlighted the importance of preserving its cultural heritage. Mr. Putin has also been in touch, talking of which, with the head of UNESCO and promised Russia's help with mine clearance in the ancient city. So many roads into that city had been mined up. OK, we'll keep you posted on all the big world news in the next half hour. Between now and then, talking about some of it, worlds apart, discussing whether peace is finally realistic for Syria after so much bloodshed over the last 5 years.